we initiate chaos. Theory guarantees that we'll play like lightning shots, sounding like thunder. For every time in the face that it hits us, we're faster. Well, they should know by now. They see the world keeps trying to shake us. It only wakes us. The pendulum swings. The pendulum swings. It's in a beautiful darkness. Only another. It's full steam ahead. Full steam ahead. All about the Betty Express. Misdirected from the start. It's a runaway train. I come a freight train. I come a freight train. In a beautiful darkness, the Betty Express. In a beautiful darkness.
Hey, you guys, we are just waiting for the court to come back. I know most people are still with Nick as we kind of try to cross time streams. So I am not sure if we are still on cross with the defense or if we have moved forward to redirect with the state. I'm guessing that, excuse me, I am guessing that this particular witness will go back and forth for the rest of the day. I think that he is he's a very good witness for the defense. So, and I don't know what the hell the state's doing at this point. I don't know. I'm looking at the chat because I still have the chat up from Nick's stream. So apparently the state is acting really stupid. I don't know. Or he is. Oh, for the love of it. So we are just waiting for court to come back in. We have the lovely eagle. I like the way the defense is doing this by pointing out every person that didn't do a good job as a police officer. It really is calling into question why the state is going after Adrian. It really is a question. Thank you, Jason. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. You know, watching with us, hanging out with us. It does help you guys. Because I know that you guys are probably sitting there and can't turn off your mind after the stupidity. I mean, at this point, for the absolute shit show that's happening, thank you. Yeah, I think this will probably be demonetized at the beginning because I can't. And it's really odd. You know what's really odd to me? If you had told me that by day 8, I would be pissed on Adrian's behalf, I would have been shocked. I have been so angry at those officers in the hallway. And as a fake redhead who's trying to, improve my Scottish, street cred, I can hold a grudge like there is no one's business. So to have my opinion on Adrian changed so dramatically because I've watched this trial and what has come out, it's interesting that other people are watching the same trial and seeing him as more and more guilty, which it isn't a large amount of people, but there are some people that seem to think if you point out any other security failures, you are essentially spitting on victims. And no, that's not what we're doing. We are pointing out that, God, wouldn't it be more constructive if we sat down and tried to fix all these inefficiencies, try to figure out how much training do officers need? What is the amount of, live fire training or training that they need to inoculate themselves from adrenaline or fear? How much time should officers be thinking about tactical thinking? Because it seems like if you don't use that skill, it goes away. Does Uvalde have a new radio set up? Are there more dispatchers? Why are 2 dispatchers in charge of 17 different organizations? If we remember the testimony yesterday of the 911 dispatcher, there are 17 agencies to which they Ben's information? Why are there only 2 dispatchers? I mean, that would seem like a whole lot to try to disseminate information to for 2 people. Maybe that's normal. I don't know. But these are questions that have come up to me. Yes, of course. Are we on cross? How many re-res do I need to put in here? Because we're just waiting for them to get off the Eagle. Jason J. I'll fully admit I came into the trial thinking and believing he was guilty based on the sheer numbers of cops that stood around and admitted they did nothing. Yeah. I fully admit.
Members
Sorry.
of the jury, my apologies. Something's come up that's beyond our control. A juror's wife has been taken to the hospital over lunch, and he's at the hospital. We don't know the status, and we do have alternates, but the problem is we need to know the exact status and his ability to be able to continue to serve before we impanel an alternate under the law. So I'm going to beg your indulgence, and I'm going to apologize to you, but in order for him to get a status update and give us more information.
So right now we came back from lunch. One of the jury members, one of the seated jury members, his wife is in the hospital. He is at the hospital now. They are waiting for a kind of a status on her status to see if he can move forward with this case. They have to get some official status so they can impanel a new jury or the alternate.
We're going to have to recess today to allow him to do that, and we will resume with you tomorrow at 9 o'clock. He's going to hopefully be here tomorrow at 8:30 to update us on what his ability to serve is. So remember my instructions, and please don't discuss the case with anybody. Don't listen to anything that may be in the media or watch anything that may be in the media. And we will see you back to continue with the redirect of this witness at 9 o'clock.
I'm going to.
Thank you all. Would you rise for the jury, please?
Well, first and foremost, I hope that the juror's wife and the juror are okay. Sometimes we forget that the spouse who is worrying is also in need of prayer. Now, I am the world's worst Christian. I am of the praying variety. But, if you're more of a thoughts and vibes kind of person, or, the giant spaghetti monster in the sky, look, in the Church of Mo, I don't tell you what to believe. I just ask that you believe something. Sounds good. Let me go back to, all right, I'm prepared to be angry. All righty. Why are we on the Benningfield? All right.
It sounded like, and it looked like Adrian was just figuring it out.
No, I can't. I'll have to go back and look. Honestly, Mr. Mo came back from the doctor with a shingles diagnosis, and we kind of ate dinner and then went to bed. Yeah, I'm working on making separate videos. I get done with trial, and I honest to goodness just fell into bed. Oh, here you go. It's linked in, oh no, wrong one. It's linked in the chat, so if you want to check that out. And thank you, Colorado Mountain Girl, for gifting 10 memberships. And those went to Kylie, Mother of Ducks, Nova Lee, 3477. Kylie, Mother of Ducks again. Turnip 5, Zimmy 123, Jane Amberger, Opal Gypsy, Moonfox Studios, Carol Sue Scott, Grammy Joe, and Tammy. Welcome, welcome to the Church of Mo. We have dark chocolate sarcasm, and the only thing that we outlaw, well, there's two things. The first things are the audio assault weapons that are called recorders. Yes, the plastic flute things. Yes, those are prohibited. And patchouli oil used as deodorant. Yes, you may be a hippie. I allow all hippiness. But if you use patchouli oil instead of deodorant, you are banished from our commune. All right, let's see this this cross. Am I going to need
So
emotional
when you talk
support,
about
gummy
considering, the
nerds?
government asks you about considering the backdrop. Anytime you have shooting around a school, you're never gonna have a perfect backdrop,
No.
right? I mean, if
Yes, there is the Paul Carino case or Cisnero case. I'm not quite sure how to say his last name. But there are also the probable cause hearings that just happened in in Michigan for the Kimberly Page or Rebecca Page case. No, Kimberly Page is the sister. So I do have those things on my plan. I forgot how taxing trials were. So I am intending to get to those. I always think, oh, by the time this ends, I'm going to have so much energy and I'm going to feel great. No, I am literally picking myself up out of my recliner and going straight to my bed at the end of the day. That is all I am journeying.
in a courtroom, there's never gonna be a perfect backdrop. I mean, these officers, I mean, you're always gonna have that situation.
Correct, yes.
Especially at a school. I mean,
Yes.
that doesn't mean you don't act at all and do something.
No.
All right, where do we get to idiot prosecutor? He is gulping down that water. Oh, wait.
Because you heard the dispatch, someone running towards the school with the gun, and where did Adrian drive?
Into the school.
Into the school, towards the
Objection,
school.
student act and ask him after it's repetitive now, Your Honor.
All right, so,
Same.
so
It's not repetitive when you constantly, with every single law enforcement officer, denigrate Adrian. It's not repetitive, you douche canoe. Honestly, I'd feel bad for you if I thought you were working with average intelligence. Now that I've classified you as mentally subnormal, I actually feel I'm kind of proud of the prosecutor that he got his pants on the right leg today.
So you saw that. So Adrian is recollecting recollecting that in his mind. So when you talk about considering, because the government asked you about considering the backdrop, anytime you have shooting around a school, you're never going to have a perfect backdrop,
No.
right? I mean, if in a courtroom, there's never going to be a perfect backdrop. I mean, these officers, I mean, you're always going to have that situation,
Correct, yes.
especially at a school. I
Yes.
mean, that doesn't mean you don't act.
Chat, have I missed the angry part that's going to make me want to be angerfied? Have I? Okay, so I haven't missed the part where because, now that I'm back to full redhead, I never miss the opportunity to make a tapestry of profanity.
At all and do something.
No.
Um, and from your knowledge, you know, and from what you experienced, you saw Adrian act, correct?
I'm sorry?
You saw Adrian act as you approached at 11:35:10?
Yes.
He ran into the school?
Yes.
He stayed in the school, correct?
Yes.
In the hallway?
Yes.
And he remained in danger until given further instruction?
From what now
the
we
chief.
played from the video that we saw, the dash cam, or body cam, yes.
Thank you, sir. Pass the witness, Judge.
All right.
Yeah.
This is the case of the state versus Adrian Gonzalez, correct?
Yes, sir.
And we've been here 2 weeks talking about Adrian Gonzalez, correct?
Yes, sir.
The fuck you have? Let me checks notes, all 215 pages of them. Doing this facetiously because yes, has checked notes, has done breakdowns. You have said not one bubble fuck about Adrian. Holy God, who let this man out of his group home?
So can we start with Adrian Gonzalez that day?
Yes, sir.
No, I didn't get to rage out, so we're raging again. Thank you, Otto Willie.
We've had a stipulation of around 11:31:55, give or take a few seconds. Adrian Gonzalez is parked on the south lot.
Yes, sir.
First of all, that is Rico Suave's board. We do not touch Rico Suave's board. You are not fit to touch a whiteboard. I decree it. No, you do not get to have office supplies, okay, sir? I can't even trust you to not huff the... I'm worried that the fumes from the dry erase marker are going to decrease your already limited faculties of reason.
We have a stipulation that the gunman entered the west wing around 1 minute and 3 seconds later. Correct?
Yes, sir.
During that time, y'all show up about halfway in between that time. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
About 30 seconds in. And we know from your I'll make sure I have that photograph.
Who drinks water like that?
All right, folks, let's go ahead and take an hour for lunch. Get back as quick as you can. We'll see you back in an hour. Remember my instructions. Let everyone rise for the jury. See if you can find a photograph.
And you guys, we were made aware after lunch that one of the jurors' wives was taken to the hospital, and because they're unsure of her status right now, they will be waiting for him to come in tomorrow morning at 8:30 to see if he needs to be replaced with the alternates. They do have alternates in place. Courts tend to have several alternates already when they pull a jury. Sorry. So they will be deciding that tomorrow. But I do expect that this witness will be on the stand for a substantial more amount of time tomorrow, should we be going forward. That being said, I do have a breakdown of today, at least the timeline, and some notes that I've taken. Let's see, I started today on... Nope, wrong one. I believe I started today on page 200 of notes for this trial. So, and it was very interesting what we kind of got out of this witness. I wasn't sure how much we were going to get out of this witness with him being a police officer, and with the voir dire that we had last night. It did seem like there were some issues about where he would maybe opine on Adrian's actions and things like that. So we started today with Sergeant Cardosa. And I just kind of wrote down some general notes of things that I was thinking as we got to this part. You know, and I think if you watched Nick's stream, we kind of addressed all of them. At this point in the trial, I should have a very clear understanding of where the state thinks Adrian went wrong, not different piecemeal things like, oh, here's a body cam and I see him holstering his weapon. That's now why he's unfit. Or, oh, see how we kind of tricked the timeline and made it look like he was hiding in his car for 3 minutes? That's where he was wrong. There's been a lot of lack of specificity in the entire state's case that I think is inherent and deliberate. And as a person that takes notes, this is kind of the clearest way I can explain it to you guys. I've been watching trials for 4 years. I kind of know what needs to be taken down for me to have a good understanding of this case. The jurors might have never been in a courtroom before and are trying to make sense of a very information-dense case. So I wouldn't be shocked if they have close to 200 or possibly 300 notes by now, possibly a full notebook going into another notebook. With all of the information, because the state hasn't had a timeline, you know, way that they've gone through witnesses. They haven't had sort of a coherent pattern of witnesses other than officer, Texas Ranger, parent. They always seem to kind of alternate the emotional testimony. Now, according to Court TV, the state is winding down its case. Now, it was projected that this be a 2 to 3 week case. So we might be getting the defense starting their case maybe tomorrow afternoon or Monday, if they should choose to have it. Now, we started with Sergeant Cardoza. I think he's retired. Sergeant Cardoza on the stand. We started with direct. It was very long and drawn out. And we noticed some inconsistencies, or at least some things that make you go, Now, the with the body cam and the fact that this officer's body cam and another officer, his body cam, both turn on at the same time, despite both of them having arrived at the scene earlier, is a little bit suspect, I think. I don't think that this was an incredibly strong witness for the state. I think that the defense has been doing a good job of pointing out reasonableness. And I think this is the good witness to go that extra step and bring in other officers. I think it was incredibly damning that the defense pointed out that the officer that was holding traffic, kind of holding the intersection as Officer Cardoza was pulling in or pulling around, I think it's incredibly damning that the officer that was dispatched to go to the motor vehicle accident, the original call, is at the intersection at that point, standing around, twiddling his thumbs, it looks like. So the officer that was supposed to be one of the first people on the scene, you know, checking out this vehicle crash, is over at the intersection. It will be interesting to see how the state feels like it's going. I do think that the worse the case against the state is looking, the more we might be able to see outburst. I think the more likely we are to see outburst. And bless the parents that have sat here this entire time and had to relive their trauma through every testimony. But sometimes it's easier to not deal with the fact that the state has lied to you and keep the illusion of Adrian being the bad guy. It's easy and simple and kind of comforting to think if this guy had just done his job, none of this would have happened. No, but I do think as the case steadily begins to look more and more grim for the state, those parents who are very married to the idea that someone needs to pay for this, and I understand that. I do think that as the case from the state gets worse and worse, we might see more outbursts, because it might be looking like Adrian, the defense is making a case that they're exonerating him, of this gross negligence, of this standing around. And I do think that that could prompt more outbursts. I am very worried that the state is saving the 911 calls and the desperate children's cries for help, for the closing statement. I very much worry that we are just going to have feelings and not facts, a gross misrepresentation of the trial, what happened in it, and a great appeal to the deaths of these children and the teachers that lost their lives and the students that were injured. Every single person in that school was a victim of this monster. And I said it at the start of this case, the monster is dead. We're left with jackasses, people, good intentions that paved the road to a hellish situation. Because I guarantee you, the teachers didn't intend for their, kind of makeshift doors to be a weak point. It didn't, no one intended for this to happen. And my worry is that should this go to where Adrian is not guilty, should the jury decide not guilty, despite the facts being proven out that he didn't sit around, he's never going to have the life back that he had before this day. Neither are the parents, neither are the families, neither are anyone. But to prosecute the case this way, when it's your only chance to, if Adrian is truly the monster that you say he is, the monster of inaction, the, banality of evil that is inaction, you put on a terrible case. So it's very hard to listen to the prosecution stand there and claim they're the only ones that care about children, and they ignored all of the other officers, all of the other things. But there you go. It's not a very big breakdown, nor a very long stream today, but I will be back tomorrow with a weekly roundup with Shizzy. We've got a new song. Of course, it's probably degenerate, but if you need a place to laugh, to giggle at the hysterical things that my algorithm finds, Friday mornings, 8 a.m., Shizzy Wisnut and I do kind of a morning stream where I find incredibly weird headlines and clips, and he finds them too, and we just giggle and joke. So if you need a little bit of a break, now I will say, Runkle of the Bailey is doing updates in the evening, and so is Lawyer I think he was following that. I don't know if he's still following that, the case, but I know he was doing some. All right. And thank you guys so much for hanging out. Please like, subscribe, do all of the YouTube-y things. You are free to go wherever in the internet you want. I'm going to go check on Mr. Mo. Not going to lie, it's kind of nice to have an early day. I will see you guys in a little bit. And do remember, if you need a place for shenanigans and fun, Saturday, I will be taking a note from the late, great, awesome Sauce, Legal Vices. And starting this January, starting this month, I will do a once a month grift and gift stream. I have some arts and craft supplies, and I'll be dressed up as Possum Lady. That's pretty much, I buried the lead. I'm going to be dressed up as a crazy woman that has possums. Saturday at noon, Central Time. If you need a laugh, and I think we will, join me. more possums, more crazy. Bye, you guys.